welcome to One Thing Queer. I am Jenny Baton, and my pronouns are she, they.
And I'm Kelsey Wren, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hello.
Hey.
How are ya?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
How was your week?
It was eventful. So I ended up traveling for work. I was in Utah and I was in Michigan. Cool. And
oh my god,
it was like a full thing. And it's so funny. I got the job pretty last minute, and it was a lot of fun. I had never been to Utah or Michigan, and it was just crazy that like 1 week I was here and then the next week I was like somewhere else. But it was really beautiful. We ended up shooting this family that has this show called Homework on the Magnolia Network. You could also find it on Discovery Plus, the app.
Ooh, awesome.
And they basically like purchased... Okay, first of all, they're like a Brady Bunch family. So the mom had 3 kids, the dad had 3 kids, and then they ended up having one of their own. Mm-hmm. And they also remodel homes. They like buy them and remodel them and sell them. And so they found this school that was built in 1907, and they are like creating it to be their home. Wow. So it was really interesting. I like took a lot of videos and stuff, so maybe I'll share it with y'all when I can, but it was really fun getting to know them, and it was really cool just seeing like how they try to like conserve all the old structure of the house and like really keep it. And they even had a room that was like a classroom of like that, and they actually had the chalkboard that was originally there.
That's pretty crazy.
And they like kept it. It was really cool.
Wow, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Exciting.
So yeah, I'm back.
Yeah,
feels good.
I know. I was telling my partner, I was like, I miss my friend.
I missed you too. It's so weird because I think like we're starting to get into this like rhythm, and it's just weird when it like
that breaks. And we plan a lot, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave you alone because I know you're busy as heck. And I was like, I miss my friend. I can't talk to anybody.
I'm here.
I talk to other people too, but I'm like, meh, no planning right now.
I know, but that's why we're like recording like pretty much very soon after we post this. So
it's a little last minute, but we definitely wanted to recap Jessie's episode and say again, thank you so much, Jessie. It was
incredible.
Awesome. It was cool. I had the chilaquiles for like 4 days afterwards.
Dang it.
It was so good.
You made them stretch.
I did. I put like eggs on top. It was killer. Sorry.
I can make you some too.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm like, it was amazing. I'm like gonna need a recipe later.
How was your week?
It was good. It was a good week. Yeah. It was just, I had a lot of work actually.
Yeah.
Sorry. I keep hitting the mic. I had a lot of work, which was good, distracting. I don't know. It was a good week. It was definitely, I don't know if because some alignments changed up a little bit, but I feel better, and it was, I don't know. It was a good week. I went skating this morning, and that was rad. And
I saw that.
It was so much fun.
Do y'all follow Kels on Instagram? She was like filming her. I'm like, you look like a badass. You look like a badass.
I'm just going straight.
You're not like twirling or anything?
No, well, because it's been a while, so I was like, okay, let me not get crazy and like fall on my ass just like my first time out again and like hurt myself.
What was like the worst like fall that you had?
There's a park that's right here like down the street. My partner and I, like, he would go play basketball and I'll skate on the court. And, like, it was just after I had been practicing a lot in the backyard. And I was like, oh, I got this down. I got so many moves. I can go backwards now. So I went out there, like, full force and, like, fell flat on my butt. And I was like, ow.
At least you got the cushion.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I would have broken my tailbone. There's no cushion.
It wasn't my butt, but like I landed on my wrist, and I was like, oh, too cool for pads. I don't need pads. And I hurt my wrist really bad, actually. So I was like, okay, I will never skate without pads again. Yeah. I learned my lesson. I'm not too cool for safety.
Yeah. Nobody's too cool for
Yeah, I'm like, what is it? From Whip It, she says, a safety is sexy. So, like, that was the worst one, because I, like, my wrist was, like, full-on bruised. And I was like, okay, I'm like out here over 30 with these bruises on my wrist. I need to like chill. But I don't know. It was pretty fun though. It was like we haven't been skating in a while, and it was like, I don't know. I'm like still riding a high from it, so I'm like I'm like, this is the greatest day.
The endorphins are kicking. And it's Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's Sunday.
It is Sunday. I've always said I'm not, but Sunday's good. Last Sunday was good too.
Yeah,
like
we're breaking patterns.
We are breaking patterns.
The key is you gotta go skate.
Yeah.
In the morning. Oh, I want to go like just watch y'all. I really do, because I love watching the roller skating videos on TikTok.
It's fun. I mean, it's fun. I try to like, because like you get that thing in your head like, I can't be outside skating if I'm not good at, well, at least I do in my head. Nobody has these thoughts but me, but I can't be outside skating if I'm not good. But I'm like, it's okay, I'm a beginner, because we were trying to like get up to the trail and we are kind of struggling going uphill and coming downhill, and I was like, I don't care if you're like looking right now, like
that sounds hard.
It was hard. It was the downhill really was very hard. Scary.
Oh my god,
my legs are burning from it.
No, I would be petrified. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it being too, like, it's been a while, so I was like, okay, like, I need to really, it was a long skate for it being a while, but it was killer. It was fun.
Killer.
Lots of fun. So
yeah, we just wanted to get on here and recap last week's episode. If you haven't checked it out, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I will say that it was probably one of my favorite episodes.
Same.
And we really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. And we just wanted to recap a little bit on the episode. We made some notes. I made some notes on the airplane. You wrote some down?
I did too. A little wrote them down old school with pen and paper, because I need to see them like that.
I love it.
It's so funny. But yeah, I don't know. Just I guess I don't know. I guess I'll
go for it.
Kick it off. One of the things I wanted to talk about too, because we didn't want to elaborate so much when Jessie was here, because we wanted to make sure that they had enough time to talk and get their story out. So one of the things that they were mentioning is that, like, not feeling queer enough. And I kind of, because it was on TikTok, I kind of was talking about, like, there's a whole, like, thing. I don't know any of the TikTokers' names, but there's, like, a controversy right now that somebody came out, like, super biphobic. There was just somebody talking a lot of nonsense and was saying, basically, if you center men in your queerness, or, like, you are queer and also center men in your life kind of thing, then you're not queer. And everybody was like, you're forgetting, like, the GBT LGBTQ.
Exactly.
Like, so, like, she got hit hard with a bunch of criticism and, like, started reporting videos and stuff. But it was like, dude, like, you're really invalidating, like, half of this group. And it's like the people who still center men, or not even center, because I think that's a ridiculous way to put it. I'm not centering anybody. This person is my partner. Like,
that's who you fell in love with.
Exactly. This is my partner. And, like, you also, the same way, the reverse side, you can't help who you're attracted to. I can't help that I'm still attracted to men.
Exactly. Well. And that's why there's a B in LGBTQ. Exactly. That's what bisexual is.
Yes. And even, like, she was invalidating, like, gay men, like, they center men, like,
exactly.
It was just so weird. So I just saw that, and I saw a lot of responses, and it was talking about, like, there was one in particular who kind of, I was thinking the same thing, that, like, with my partner, I'm still me. Like, when I'm alone, I'm still a queer individual. I'm still bisexual with or without my partner.
Exactly.
So that doesn't change, because I know somebody else was mentioning, like bi women in particular are only valid if they're with another woman, and it's like, well,
that's
then
bullshit.
Then you're making them into a, like,
that's bullshit.
You're saying they're a lesbian. They're only valid if they're a lesbian. That doesn't make any, like, it was frustrating. I know, right? I felt the same way. I was like, this is really ignorant right now. Like, it was, and they were saying, like, oh, that people who want the queer community to embrace people who center men, and I was like, well, we're a team, aren't we? I thought we were all a team. Like, you're just being bigoted the other way. It was just really, it was really weird. But I wanted to touch on that, like, for anybody who is, like, bisexual, like, I'm still me whether I'm with my partner or not. Like, that's just me. Like, to me, that's more a validating statement than anything.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You're still bisexual. Y'all, get a dictionary. Go to Google and look up the definition of bisexual. It doesn't mean it's a lesbian.
Well, they were also, it was really weird, because they were like, they were saying as a lesbian, for them, they were saying that they don't want to embrace people who center that. And I was like, well, like, no one's asking you to.
Nobody's asking you to.
To just mind your business.
Exactly. No, and you get it a lot. Like, I'm not even going to tell their story, because I'm sure we're going to have them on. But a friend of mine, like, was in a relationship and was with you know, it was a lesbian relationship and they were with another woman, and like they would target my friend because they were bisexual or pansexual, and like would be like, no, you really just want to be with a man. You're just with me just because I don't know. And it's so common in our own community, and that's what's unfortunate, and that's the irony behind it all, is that even in our own community, we're putting people in boxes when, there are vocabulary terms for people to, like, feel like they belong somewhere, but also, like, they could also be pretty toxic, like the whole labeling.
Yes, I agree too. I think that's kind of the box or the point we got stuck at when we were talking about the gender episode, the one we scrapped, is that it got kind of boxy, and I'm like, I don't want to put anybody in a box. Like, that's just it. Is like, the label is to help describe, but the label also, I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything, but like it kind of doesn't, like it don't, I don't know.
It's like a spectrum.
It is. It's a spectrum, and it's like people have a hard time. Like, if you say you're one thing, they're like, now you can never be anything else.
Exactly, and that's so false.
That's how it works.
The furthest from the truth ever.
Exactly. And then, like, because people are, I feel like a lot of people are also ready to catch you, like, and that's just what it is. Like, oh, you said this, and it's like,
so what happened?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got that when I came out. They're like, what?
Yeah.
You were only with guys. I'm like, how the fuck do you know? How do you know? Okay, yeah, I was, but like,
but yeah, you don't know.
But you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know my life.
Yeah.
Have you been in the bedroom with me like my whole life? Like, no, I don't think so. So leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I'm fucking attracted to.
Definitely.
Sorry.
That's it too. We had, I'm not gonna call them out obviously, but we had somebody message and we're talking about they resonated a lot with what you said, and that there's like an imposter syndrome with that. And I was saying, like, you know, the way I get around it is that, or not get around it, but the way I kind of make feels right to me is that I'm the only one that knows what's in my head, and that's all that matters. And that's fine. That I have to be okay with it, and I'm great. Like, I feel great. So that's all that sounds like a whole lot of your problem.
Exactly.
You know,
I've been living by that statement.
Yeah.
Since I heard it. I mean, even before I heard it, but I forgot what I was talking to Val about. But I was like, it's a whole lot of their problem.
Yeah, I love that. It's so true, because it's like you're trying to impose your way of life or whatever, and it's like, it's really not valid to me. I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. I find it so amazing that there are people out there that really think that their opinion is gonna steer you into a different direction, or is gonna stop the feelings. Like, that's such a naive way to think.
I like that one TikTok that's like the baseball sound. It's like, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I was dying because, like, everyone, let me tell you, Jenny's the like person of TikTok. Like,
no.
Jenny knows TikTok. There's times where I see you like upload a bunch and I'm like, dude, kill it. Like, I'm like, I don't understand how these get made, but like, they're great.
I to be honest, I don't either. I was just bored. I had a free day at work. I thought I had work, didn't have work, so I was like, what am I gonna do today? I'm like, well, I never have time to make TikTok, so I'll just do that.
Yeah. Like, nobody cares. I love it.
Nobody asked.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
I was like, because I uploaded that, and the one that you had told me about, the MGMT.
Oh yeah, the Little Dark Age.
Yeah, Little Dark Age.
That too.
Trend.
Oh, I have to show you the video. I saw another one that was like, so it was talking about how, like, obviously the trend is like us, like, or somebody hiding something about themselves, and then you talk about it never going away. Like, it's gonna come out eventually. It's never gonna go away.
Yeah.
And they were saying that, like, it's kind of what we talked about with representation with Jessie, is like, it's frustrating that we didn't have that representation, because we wouldn't have had to hide it this whole time, or nobody would have had to hide it. And like, even for like queer kids, like, we grew up in a time where like people used like, when we were in elementary school, people called you gay and it was supposed to be a bad thing, or like
insulting,
or like the F slur, and it was like, so people said that to people who may not have even been gay at, like, when we were, it was so, like, you know, so how are you supposed to come out and know it's okay
when people use it as a negative connotation?
Well, that, and they use it against everything. People who, you know, kids that weren't even, they were just weird or something, you know, like, it's I don't know, but that
jokes
was
on them. Jokes on them. We are weird and we're gay and we're cool. Weird is cool. So leave us alone, okay? What?
I'm dead.
Oh my god.
Jenny's a little loopy also.
I'm loopy, y'all. I did not sleep for like 26 hours. So but then I slept for 14 hours, but I still feel like I'm foggy and like exhausted from flying across the country basically.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how far Michigan was.
Yeah.
It's literally in the East Coast. I was in East Coast time. So
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know. Was there anything from that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah. I mean, I think the protecting spaces and protecting your inner child, I thought that was like, I mean, that's right down my alley when it comes to like what I'm doing in therapy right now, which is like healing my inner child and stuff. So I really enjoyed talking or touching base on that because I feel like a lot of it has to do with our childhood. A lot of the reasoning behind hiding behind who we truly are and like being scared and also setting boundaries with people that try to cross them or like inflict that same emotion of trauma that you felt as a kid. I thought that was really important for us to talk about because I really feel like it falls under a lot of things.
It was interesting because my partner and I had a kind of a long talk after he heard the episode, and he was saying that like it was so interesting because it was like listening in on a conversation that like you're not supposed to hear kind of thing. Yeah. And I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of like
that's what.
But it's cool. But like he was saying that like with the with like healing your inner trauma and stuff, and it's like it's so interesting that like the family members that look at you the same as when you were like 7 still treat you the same, and you've grown up and you're like, I'm over that, like I don't I don't act like that anymore.
I have boundaries now.
Yeah, exactly.
FYI.
Yeah, boundaries, and like I'm old enough now to say, or more mature enough to say like, hey, that actually hurt. I don't want you to do that anymore, when you couldn't say that as a kid. So,
and what happens is when you start setting those boundaries, people start getting upset because they no longer can do that to you. Yeah. So they're like, oh, they start calling you like, oh, you're such a bitch now, or this and that. Or
sensitive.
Like, or you're so sensitive, or you're so emotional, and it's like, no. Like, this is me setting my boundaries. Yeah. Like, I'm fucking tired of dealing with abuse from you. I'm fucking tired of being a doormat. Yeah. And I'm no longer allowing you to do that. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that you're a bitch. Like, I feel like a lot of, especially AFAB people, I feel like we encounter this a lot. For some reason, like, you know, if we get catcalled or something, it's like, oh, we're automatically bitches. And it's like, no. I just demand the same respect that you give to other AMAB. People, you know?
Yeah, I agree, and it's like kind of like, it's not about, even with like catcalling, like it's not about like what you said, it's about what you said, what that can lead to.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, I can deal with your dumb whatever you're saying. It's what are you going to do after you said that? Like, whether I put up a boundary or not, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
That's the point that people, like, I'm not being sensitive because I don't like your words. I'm being quote unquote sensitive because I don't want it to escalate, and I don't know what you're going to do next.
I don't want you to kill me. So sorry I hurt your feelings, but I don't know if you're going to fucking want to kill me and dump me in a dumpster.
Exactly. Like, it's ridiculous. And it's like, even with family, like too, you start to see too, like the people pull away, or like I don't know, you're too difficult now. And it's like, well, okay, I'm that works for me because I'm happy where I'm at. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was one of mine.
I like that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's really good. And it was something too that Jessie was mentioning, that like kind of like when she came out to her mom and like she was kind of more accepting when she grew up. It's kind of like that too. It kind of had the same experience where like both my parents were kind of like, what's the big deal? Like, why didn't you say something before? I'm like, cause it's but it wasn't, but like, but wait a second. Like,
I find it so funny that they think like they don't. My dad asked me the same thing, and I'm like, during that time, like, I'm gonna be crystal clear. During that time, my dad was alcoholic and he was abusive and was physical and all that. There was a lot of physical abuse. So when I told him that, I'm like, you really think I would, at 15 years old, when I was like a little tiny kid, you really think I would have told you?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and it's that, and it's like my experience wasn't that when I was growing up, but like words also do things to you. Like, there's a very passive aggressive nature in my house where I grew up. And that's the thing too. That's something I wanted to bring up too, is that like Jessie mentioning abuse like from family members, and it's like sometimes we have a tendency to minimize our own abuse. Like like to me, I'll talk about the passive aggressive nature and stuff, and I'm like, it wasn't physical, so what are you complaining about? Kind of. You have that kind of like I know already what you're gonna say, but like
we've had this conversation.
Yes, but it still feels that way. You still like you feel like you can't say anything because it's not as bad as other people have had to deal with. But at the same time, it's like, but for like I have that because I grew up in a family where like my older siblings were military people, and like I say something's hard and they're like, you don't know what hard is. And it's like, well, but like, that's hard for me. Our caliber is different.
Exactly. You were being invalidated like your whole life. So I think that's where it kind of stems from, but that doesn't disregard your, what you've gone through.
Well, that's like, even like my dad was like, well, what were you scared of? And I'm like, well, like there may not have been blatant, like, you know, homophobic statements, even though there were some that were, I mean, yes, yeah, there were. Now that looking back at the lens, there were, but like it also wasn't like enthusiastically embraced. So, you know, I mean, that's something I want to take away from it too, is that like kids hear you, whether you intend for them to or not. Like there's a lot of things, like even with like body stuff, like there's a lot of things that I hear that it's not my voice in my head, it's other people in my family's voices. And it's like, you may not have meant that, like, but that's how I interpreted it. And that's like, I don't know, you may not have meant to be abusive or invalidating or critical, but like that's, I mean, in all honesty, that's what it was, and that's how I took it. And we never talked about it, so like that's what it stands as now. It's just,
I love that you're talking about this and bringing awareness to it, because I think it's something a lot of people go through. I think everybody goes through like some sort, to an extent. And yeah, it's, I don't know what I was going to but yeah, I think it's important that you're talking about that. I don't know, like I felt that too, like talking, I'm like, there is some stuff that was like abusive that like it may have been words, but like I know it made me feel terrible, and like I can see it now as an adult, but as a kid you're like, oh, that's just how it is. How it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
So another thing I really wanted to touch base on was her talk about wanting to move away from gender normatives, and how she's changing like how she speaks to even like her pets. I thought that was really cool, and I thought that was really really important for her to bring it up, because I think she's kind of on the same page as us, where we're trying to break away from like saying guys or saying something that's generalizing. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I feel myself falling into it too. I guess it depends too, because it's hard to, and I guess it depends on like whatever group of friends, because like I have a group of friends that they all identify as she, her, and like, so it's like, hey gals, like, or hey ladies, like, it's just how we talk. So it's hard because in that space that's okay, but like then you have to like I hate saying reprogram, but it is that you have to like, I guess, know your audience basically. And I think if it's a space where everybody is okay with that, then you go ahead and do what you. I think the issue is when it's stuff like, even we've said it, is like the more masculine clothing or feminine, like it's just like,
it's just clothes.
I pulled that out like this week because I've been doing kind of like a lot more like shadow work stuff, and like get out of here. So I've been like thinking about too, is like, why do I put myself like, even through like, why do I put myself through these like holes? Like, I don't know, holes, like I try to fit myself through an eye of a needle, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know why I keep doing that to myself. My brain makes arbitrary rules that don't really need anything. So my arbitrary rule in my head is do you look feminine? Do you look masculine today? Do you look like I'll just put on stuff.
Yeah.
And let's just go from there. Like it doesn't really
What feels good? Yeah. What feels good today?
It doesn't really matter. Like I've had a thing of like cutting my shirts lately and I'm like, this feels great. This is what I want to do.
I love it.
Yeah, I used to do this when I was a kid and I really miss it and I like it and that's what works.
Yeah.
And cutting your shirts isn't masculine or feminine. So
no. I don't think you put that in a box.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny because we're both wearing
I know, we both flanneled it up today. I don't know. It was just so funny. Like, I don't know. I've just been working on that kind of, and it's.
I love that.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I don't
know. Your turn.
Oh, I kind of. That's kind of all I got.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. I mean, I have so many.
Yeah,
let me see. Another one that I thought was really interesting, and I love that she brought this up because I very much identify with this, but it's basically about visualizing your future. You know, and like for me, growing up, like there was no representation of woman loving woman relationship or a lesbian relationship. So I think a lot of people will ask like, oh, why didn't you come out sooner? And I think a lot of people go through that, like what I went through. Like I was always a really hopeless romantic, and I always envisioned like a wedding, and I would like sit down and watch wedding videos on YouTube, like especially when I was single, just like watching because I was like, oh, I really hope I have that one day. But yeah, like we're so like ingrained, it's so ingrained in us to only see a man and a woman that it's so hard it was so hard for me to visualize my happiness with a woman when I was younger. And it wasn't until I started finding queer TikTokers or YouTubers finally feeling like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be like. That's what I want. Like that's truly what I want. And when I see it, it's like that's what feels right to me. And I thought it was really cool that she brought that up because I very much fell under that. You're Don't mind her.
Sorry, she's protecting right now.
She's protecting.
I don't know what she's doing.
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's sometimes where her bark is like really high pitched and I'm like, oh, my eardrums. Like, holy crap.
But yeah, I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's funny because it's like, we'll get into it another time, but this makes me really go back into childhood and like think about things like that, like growing up. And like I even found like because me and my friends were talking about like, let me see your baby pictures or like high school pictures, and I found high school pictures of like me and my partner, and I'm like, who in the heck made this person think she was, I thought I was ginormous my whole high school experience. And I'm looking at these photos and I'm like, you're tiny. You're fucking tiny. Who made you think that? Like, I really want to get face to face with who made you think that, because it's so funny because like my partner and I would self-describe us as like fat kids. We were fat kids. Like, you know, that's what we were. I don't even like saying that, but like, that's what, you know, we do it in a joking way to ourselves. Cause it's like, we like to, I mean, we call it pig out, but we like to binge sometimes and like just have fun. Yeah, no, like it's not a problem. Like it's under control now. But like, when I think back to that time, I'm like, wow, who, I don't know. It's so random. And it sucks that I've yo-yoed my entire life because of that thought. And it's like, I could have just easily kept doing whatever I was doing back then and it would have been completely fine.
I mean, you're both beautiful people inside and out. And I don't know, when I first saw you for the first time after years, I was like, dude, you have not changed at all. Like, at all.
Yeah.
Like, what was the last time I saw you? It was like 20...
Oh, God.
2011?
Maybe.
2010?
Maybe.
So it had been like 10 years and you have not changed since that time.
Same but not same.
No. Like I've definitely changed.
No, like same but not same. No, it was funny because you posted that Little Dark Age TikTok too, and I was like, oh, I kind of remember that, Jenny.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And I was like, ooh, and her like Karen O haircut, and I was like,
God. And I wore so much makeup. Like when I worked at Mac, obviously, I was watching a vlog. I used to vlog, like daily vlog or weekly vlog. So my friend Brenda, her birthday's October 30th, and she's throwing a party, and she's like, I don't want to dress up for my birthday because we always like do like a Halloween based birthday party. So what we ended up deciding on is we all have to dress up as a Brenda, like a type of Brenda.
that's awesome.
So I already have mine in mind, and I was looking back at like one of my vlog, and I was trying to find a version of Brenda I want to recreate, which I'm not gonna say because she's an avid listener, and I want to surprise her. But yeah, I was like looking back at those vlogs and how I used to do my makeup, and it was like, oh my gosh, dude, I would wear pounds of makeup.
That's so funny.
I can't even. I cringe.
There was photos. I was like, oh my God. I was like, holy crap, Jenny. And I was like, I don't think because I was thinking, because I was like, oh, I want to do that trend. But I was like, I don't even have like photos, nor do I have photos of like me done up, which is another thing I realized too, is that like I hid it in my head, but if you look at those old photos, it's obvious. So like,
yeah.
So like, I couldn't even like do the trend because like I always looked the way I looked, and it just to me, I thought I was like,
you have not changed in 10 years. That's all, I don't know before that, because like I wish I knew you when you had like your tri-hawk and all that.
oh yeah, no, that was like high school, but like,
do you have pictures of that?
Yeah, but it's not up. I mean, my hair is not up. It's flat when it's there, but it looks the same as my shaved sides now because it was just like, it just like falled over to the side. I don't even know if I ever took photos with it like that, but like I'll show you photos. I have photos, but like even in those photos when I was a teenager, like I looked the same.
You haven't aged at all.
Well, thank you.
At all. Yeah. That just means you're happy.
Yeah, no. It's so funny because the pictures I have when we were teenagers, like, it's baby us. Yeah. And they were like, oh, it's baby you guys. Like, look at it. I'm like, oh my God, in high school, look at how cool we thought we were. We were so cool.
You were cool.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah. That was your last one?
No, I have more, but should I do more?
Sure.
So the other one I had was the whole poly talk about how everyone just assumes every bisexual is polyamorous and how false that is.
It was so funny because when she mentioned that, I was like, my dad said the same thing. My dad was like, so does that mean you're going to date girls on the side? And I was like, that does not mean that at all. And I was like, no, that doesn't mean that. And he was like, okay, well, I need further explanation. I was like, you kind of don't, but I mean, like, no, that's not what it means. Like, that's not what it means at all.
Let's clear that up.
Yeah, it doesn't mean. I mean, if you are in a poly relationship, good for you. That works. I'm like, my partner and I are very stingy. Yeah.
And you're in love. Yeah. Like, you're in love with each other. Yeah, and you fulfill each other enough to the point where you don't need another person.
We're not sharers. Yeah.
A cap and a sag? Nah.
Yeah, we're not sharers. So, but yes. But I felt that, though, because I was just laughing because when Jessie said that, I was like, oh, yeah. Like, I got that a lot, all too. The time. I was like, okay, it doesn't, no, wrong word, I guess. I don't know. But it's just funny because it goes to also say, like, she was mentioning kind of like what our parents knew about this and like them growing up, like that's what they knew. Yeah. That's what they assumed is that. Yeah. And I was like, that's not
what that means. Yeah. And that's like the beauty of like living now is the fact that there's so much more information behind everything, and like we're starting. There's just not as much ignorance as there was, back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I would love to say that I think there's still some ignorance.
Oh, there's still sure. Yeah, no, absolutely ridiculous amount of ignorance. Sure. But like, if you're ignorant at this point, it's just out of your choice. Yeah, because we have all the answers at the palm of our hands now. Yeah, and I think sometimes too people have like there's a lot of times people don't have a want to learn about something if it doesn't affect them. Like there was I'm not going to say the YouTuber, but I was listening to a YouTuber and they have fairly center-leaning politics, and I listened to it because I also like to hear other sides of things, but one of the things they were talking about was like, oh, just love who you love, why does anybody need to know? And I'm like, you two are cis het straight
people. You don't understand. Like, you can do that. Other people are persecuted for that. Like,
and it's so stupid to think that way.
Yes. And it's like they were making it a big flippant thing that like, oh, why doesn't it doesn't matter with everybody, you know, who cares anymore? And it was like, there's a lot of people who still care who other people love.
Literally, like when I walk down the street or if I'm at the store with my girlfriend, obviously some people care because they're just staring at us, like looking at us up and down and like looking at us like disgusted. Yeah. So yeah, it's not like I'm not gonna fucking go hide behind four walls just because you're uncomfortable. That is not my problem. That's a whole lot of your problem. So
yeah, there was a thing where it's like they're like, because it was such a flippant answer about stuff, and I was like, you don't know because it doesn't affect you. It's so fresh. I watch those to like not to like trigger myself, but to like I want to hear these things so I can kind of hear like not where they're coming from, but like it like desensitizes me a little bit, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's like I don't know. There's other stuff that they talk about. That's why I was following them, is because the other stuff I'm like, can you just not get into this? Like I just don't really want to hear your opinion on this. We were talking about something else, or you were talking about something else. Like, can you just stick to that? And that would be great. So I was like, okay, I'm not really listening to you because you just don't get it right now. So let me just stop following what you're saying. Yeah. It's so dumb. Frustrating.
So dumb. So the other one I had was not fitting into a mold of society and why we need to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, that was yours, but I just started talking.
Yeah, no. Please elaborate. I love when you...
It was funny because Jessie was talking about that and like in high school feeling that too. Like, oh, I'm supposed to date a boy and this and that. And it's funny because like, I mean, I had, I guess, like a couple long-term relationships throughout high school. And like, I've mentioned it before that like, it was always imperative to me to move, like not be alone and move on to the next person basically. Cause like, then I would have to be alone with myself and figure myself out, and maybe things would have came to light earlier. Like, so it's just, but that's what I saw. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what, you know, you're supposed to date guys and have a boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're supposed to go. That's the thing too, is another thing I'm making me realize is that like, you're supposed to want to go to prom. Like all those things that like you're quote unquote supposed to want or do as a little girl or as a person who's treated in a female way. Like, I don't know how to say that, but like, as like a person like growing up that way is like, I never, like, that never resonated with me. I was never the kid who was like, my wedding. And same thing, like, I never really wanted to get married or have kids. It's never been a dream of mine. Yeah. So that growing up, when you're supposed to want to do that, I'm like,
why don't I feel this?
Yeah, it makes me feel those things like, I don't want, like, we've already said, or that if we ever do get married, it's not going to be a traditional thing. Yeah. I don't want it. I don't want it in a church. I don't want it traditional. Yeah. I don't really like, I want as non-traditional as possible. Yeah. Like, and that's not going to fly with some people, but I don't care.
If that ever happens, I'll like glam both of you up, or maybe I'll do like some goth makeup on both of you. Oh my God. Paint both of y'all's nails.
Stop it. You're killing me. I would love
like
that.
You don't even like y'all don't even have to like actually get married. Just throw like a party, where it's like suggested, like the vibe is like y'all are, you know, in quote, getting married, but not really. Like society. Yeah, for real. Like I'm like, I never thought of that. Like there's been, I don't know, having conversations like with other girls as a kid of like them like, oh, I can't wait for this. I'm like, what? Why? You're like, can I just go sit and watch some movies? Yeah, I'm like, I just want with my partner. I just want my house and my movies and my dog and like food. Like that's what popcorn. I want. Yes. Oh, dude. That's our jam. I need to try your popcorn. Oh my God, yes. We need a movie night. If I do say so myself, I'm killer at popcorn. It's so good. I'm so stoked. What do you do to it? I just cook it like this is popcorn talk. I just do it in like a pot. Like, I don't know. Ooh, you did like the old school way. Yeah, like pot with a thing. Like kind of have those old Jiffy pot. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Do you put any other like seasonings or just salt, butter? Salt. We have those. You know, at the supermarket, you get the like white cheddar. Yeah, we have those too. But like, I don't know. Like, we'll get popcorn and then like my partner will go get ices. Oh, it's like going to the movie theater, but I don't have to go to the movie theater. Like we watched Halloween Kills, and it was on I think Peacock, and I was like, oh cool. Now I can see this
cool movie and not have to go to the theater because I really don't like going. So
I love that.
yeah, it was cool. That kind of took a turn.
I love it.
But yes, we have to do movie night. Yes.
Yes. That was like the end segment of shooting the shit.
Yeah.
So this one, we're going to keep it short and sweet. And we're going to talk about our socials.
Socials, yes. You can find us at One Thing Queer on Instagram. You can find me at SpexRayX on Instagram.
You can find me at Jenny Lynn Bouton on Instagram. And if you have any questions or would like to share a story about your queer coming out story, or if you want to just, if you have questions when it comes to queerness overall, or if you need advice, if you're like going through something and you need big sibling advice, we are here to be here for y'all. So please feel free to email us and we'll keep you anonymous if you wish.
Yeah, and if you just want to reach out and not feel like an alien, and you want to just say, hey, do you relate to this?
Yeah.
I need to feel like I need some connection. Like,
Yeah.
we're
Feel
here.
free.
You can also, the email is onethingqueer@gmail.com. And also we have cool things coming up. So
We have more guests lined up
more
for
guests
y'all.
lined up. We also will have a live that we're going to schedule. So you guys will see that. Follow the Instagram for that.
Yeah, let us know if you, for the live, like what would you guys want us to talk about? Do you want to do should have been gay live?
Ooh.
Or maybe
That'd be so much
shooting
fun.
the shit live.
Yeah, so it should have been gay like 2.0 or like second round.
Second round.
Yeah, because Brenda hit us up with the second round.
Oh my gosh. I knew she would.
We had a full on like, I don't know, like 30-minute talk about Matthew Lillard the other night.
Does not surprise me. And that's Brenda for you. I'd love to have you on, Brenda.
Yes. Oh, love. Yeah, I would love to. Like, she's like always liking my stuff. I know we're about to close out, but like, I'm like, thank you so much for the support. You're like my #1 fan now. I love it.
Yeah,
like,
she is.
Yeah,
she was like raving all about you when I hung out with her.
yeah. She'll like everything. I don't know. Like nobody interacts with my stuff as much as Brenda. I love that.
I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode.
Yeah.
And we will see you all again next week.
Bye.
Graphics by BexUniverse.co. Music by Jacody.